What is going on, Dolphins fans? It is your boy Dillon, and obviously I made a video earlier. This was, before the big news came out, and so let's get right into it. So Dolphins Xavien Howard formally requests a trade. Making the case he has outperformed his contract, Miami Dolphins Pro Bowl cornerback Xavien Howard said in a statement Tuesday night that he has requested a trade. "I don't feel valued or respected by the Dolphins," Howard said. "Just like they can take a business-first approach, so can I." Howard reported to training camp Tuesday, but was frustrated all summer that Miami would not adjust his contract. Let's see. I'm going to try and actually pull up his exact statements because I want to read the entire thing for you, because it's yeah. So let me see if I can find this. Where is it? Anyway, so listen, as I do look for this, I just want to say that, okay, hold on. Let's see. I am trying to pull this up right now. Okay, so here's what he said. "I've given my heart and soul to the Miami Dolphins franchise since they drafted me in 2016 and want to make it clear that I love my teammates. They are my family. But what I've learned is that the business side of the NFL proves organizations don't always have a player's best interest at heart," which is obviously facts. "My experience with the Dolphins the past few seasons has taught me that. In 2018, I signed an extension that I'll admit I didn't completely understand or feel comfortable with. And that, honestly is a big thing to admit, but it's understandable, man. They're not lawyers, these players, right? And so, yeah, they don't. That's why they generally hire agents, right? So, and I told you guys from the beginning that contract was front-loaded. It was not going to be good. And then, they went and just compounded the problem by resetting the market, by signing Byron Jones, blowing through their cap space so they don't even have enough to pay him. Howard, that is. And, look, people say, well, that's what the market price was for Byron Jones. Yeah, but you don't have to pay that, because you could be a good evaluator of talent and say he's not worth that, which he's not. I'm sorry, he's just not. And, even last year, he didn't have very good stats. He proved that he's not very good in a man-heavy defense. And so, look, it is what it is. And it's just more stuff that I'm being proven correct on. Now let's get to that, because I am going to take a bit of a victory lap in this video. But let me continue his statement. "I played on that deal for 2 seasons and didn't complain, but everyone knows I've significantly outperformed that deal," which that part of it is true. Obviously, there's the debate about how long he's played on it. I mean, technically, he's really only played on the extension for 1 year, to be fair. But he did sign it 2 years ago. There's whatever. So I'm one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, which is undeniable, and the tape backs up that claim. "The assignments I'm given, shadowing the opposition's best player with little help, proves my value and my worth. Yet I'm the second highest paid cornerback on my own team, and it's not even close." I'm going to pause there, because some of the pushback, and I was actually just watching Reason's live show, his day 1 training camp live show, and I was hoping they were going to do an open panel. They didn't. They ended up having Clump and EM and Ball Game on there, which are all great, and it was a great show. I was really hoping to get on the panel today because of the giant news, but, Reason had things to do, so it's all good. I'll get on the next one. But, some people push back and say, well, you should never be looking in, other players' pockets and for how much they make. And for the most part, I'll agree with that, except for the fact that, again, it goes back to the I counter with the argument, dude, if anybody in any job anywhere is doing a job and there's another person, a coworker, an associate, a work associate that is also doing the same job title, but is doing it at a far lesser quality, right? You're performing way better, but they get paid significantly more than you. There's the exception that I give to that, right? I get you shouldn't be just, you shouldn't focus on what other, but I told you guys that was part of it, right? That was a big part of it, is that the Dolphins reset the market for Byron Jones when they shouldn't have, because he's not worth it. He's not that kind of a player, and certainly, even if you thought he was, he's still not worth more than Xavien Howard, and that contract that Byron Jones signed put him as a higher paid player than Xavien Howard, obviously. So no matter how you look at it, the Dolphins were foolish and wrong to do that. And so again, I push back because on that argument, because dude, if that was anybody in any job anywhere, you would feel disrespected too. Like, why is this person getting paid more when I'm clearly the better fucking performer, right? So that's where I push back on that. I want to clear up a few misconceptions about my situation. My agent David Canner and I have never once asked for a completely new contract. And this is really starting to where it gets, I mean, look, I believe 100% the Dolphins are at fault here. Xavien Howard is not at fault, right? You know, and people will say also that, oh, well, he shouldn't have said some of the things he said on that one podcast. Nah, bro, he's taking care of himself. I'm sorry. The NFL is so cutthroat. These teams are so cutthroat. They have so much money, but they're so willing to demonize and shit on players, cut players, etc., etc. No, they can go fuck themselves. I'm 100% on Xavien Howard's side here. But here's what he says. We wanted things to work out with the Dolphins and brought solutions to the table, like guaranteeing more money, right? Because that was one of the rumors, is that he wanted more guaranteed. And I told you that is absolutely part of it. I also told you he wants to be paid more than another player on his team that he's clearly better than when they get paid more than him. I told you that, and I told you he felt disrespected. That we felt were win-wins for both sides. These were proposals of adjustments that wouldn't just make me feel more respected, but were also cap friendly. But the Dolphins refused everything we proposed. And I've been telling you guys, dude, and I said this a bunch of times on Reason's show when I was on the panel. This relationship is irreparable. And no matter what, I told you guys it was going to end in heartbreak, disappointment. It was going to be a mess, and they're going to have to trade him. You can't not trade him at this point. But let me continue on. Let's see. And right, you know, and a lot of people were like, well, dude, just show up to training camp, show good faith. They didn't even want to fucking sit down with him today. A lot of people were like, I bet you, and look, no disrespect to Doug, but Doug was one of the ones that said, Doug Lee Durong, that was one of the said, if he comes into training camp, they will sit down at the table with him, okay? And they will work something out. Did they? No. And I told you guys this because it's for a lot of different reasons, right? It has a lot to do with their base philosophies that are very Patriot-esque. It's because Brian Flores is egotistical. I told you all these things, and I have been from the start, right? So look, bro, you know, it is what it is, but they have to, there's no getting past this situation now. Anyway, that is why I don't feel the organization has dealt with me in good faith. I don't feel valued or respected by the Dolphins, and he shouldn't, because they have clearly shown that they do not respect him. You don't not come to the table with, and look, again, to the precedent thing about paying your best, literally the best player on your fucking team, especially when you go in, as much as I love Jerome Baker, overpay for him the way you overpaid for free agents last year, including Byron Jones, right? No, I mean, again, Xavien Howard is 100% in the right here. Just like they can take a business first approach, so can I. That's why I want to make it clear I'm not happy and have requested a trade. Until that trade happens, I'm just here so I don't get fined and will handle myself like professionals do. And yeah, bro, and look, they have to, though. They have to fucking, there's no way the Dolphins, they can't, because it's terrible for both sides, right? And you can't just make them sit. Like, there's just, look, the only way that this can go at this point is they have to trade him. They just absolutely have to trade him. There is no getting around that whatsoever because of how the situation is devolved, and it is 100% the Dolphins' fault. Now, you know, as I've mentioned before, real quick, just to touch on, I think he's, you know, as a player, he's definitely worth at least 2 first-round picks. You probably won't get that because of, you know, his knees and you know, the contract you have to sign, etc., etc. So those are factors to take into account. But man, you know, the more things have developed, I really think he's going to be involved in a trade with the Texans for Deshaun Watson. And if they do that, then they're going to prove me right on several more things, which I, mentioned in a previous video. Real quick too, I also want to mention that it's funny. I predicted they were going to have to trade Xavien Howard before training camp, and that would be what was in both parties' best interest. I was proven wrong in that. They didn't trade Xavien Howard before training camp. However, day one of I was essentially off by a single day, because day one of training camp, he comes in, doesn't look very happy in that video that they posted. They tell him, hey, we're not coming to the table. We're not going to renegotiate. And then he's like, okay, well, fuck you. I'm asking for a trade. So, I really wasn't even that far off in that. But if they do, trade for Deshaun Watson and Xavien Howard's part of that, my guess is Tua's also going to be part of that. But if he's not part of that package, they're not keeping him, because they're not going to have Deshaun Watson and Tua. I just find that to be unimaginable. So, anyway, I mean, look, giant news. Like I said, a little bit, and Clump even said this on Reason Show. Yeah, bro, I'm going to take, because I get shit on so fucking much for being right and for trying to fucking prevent people from the heartache and the disaster that's coming. I foretold a bunch of these fucking things, right? And, to the broader picture real quick, I've been very right on, Brian Flores and the kind of person and coach he is, right? I'm overwhelmingly to this point being proven correct that they're trying to be just like the Patriots and Bill Belichick. He is that the tanking philosophy and everything that comes along with that is going to be a massive disaster, and there's going to be way too much volatility. I'm being proven correct that they're not good at drafting or developing players or coaches. I mean, at almost every turn they are proving me correct, with some minor exceptions here and there. But and look, it's not, Stephen Ross is the consistent common denominator over the past 10 plus 15 plus years, whatever it's been now since he's been the owner. I think it was mid 2000s. I want to say it was 2008 that he took over. Anyway, so excuse me. So, look, man, I've been telling you guys this. People have been been shitting on me this whole fucking time, but I told you. And so here we are. Unfortunately, like I said, some of the details along the way I may be off on, but when it comes to my big picture analysis, I'm gonna own this, man, and I don't care what people gotta fucking say. Ain't nobody gonna fucking gaslight me into believing that I'm wrong for fucking, acknowledging the fact that I was right. Like, no. I'm not an asshole for acknowledging that I was right. I was right. I fucking said this shit ahead of time, and it's, people who are just mad that their bubbles are burst are gonna, be like, "Rah, you're just saying that fuck you, dude." Like, no. I said it because I wanted to try and prepare people for the eventual outcome. And hopefully even, I don't really have any say or power, so preventing it is super difficult, but, hey, it is what it is. So, that's what I got. Super big news. And, after, what was looking to be a very, quiet, relatively quiet day, well, here we go. And I'm telling you, man, I really think at this point, I do think that there is some possibility that, we could trade X to the Eagles or to the Cowboys, or, maybe in a trade with the Cardinals with Chandler Jones being a part of it. The Saints are still a possibility. There's a lot of different possibilities. I just think there are too many reasons and too many arrows pointing at there's going to be a trade with the Houston Texans that involves Xavien Howard and Tua going to the Texans for Watson, and then probably some draft capital in there as well. And I'm telling you, man, look, Xavien Howard's not going to be part of this defense again. That defense is going to take a significant step backwards. I do not believe that the offensive line is going to take the steps forward that people think, nor the running back room, nor Tua. It's not going to be all Tua's fault, not even close, and he could even progress, but I just don't think, all in all, it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be a disaster of a season when it's all said and done. It's not because I want that. It's not because I hope for that. or root for that, but that's because that's what I see in my evaluation. And again, man, I'm going to say it because it's true. I have been proven correct time and time and time again. And so I hope, and I'll say this again for the millionth, the gazillionth time, I hope I'm wrong, bro. I really, really do. But I don't see me being wrong in this case in the big picture, man. And I think the season's going to end up being terrible. Brian Flores and Chris Greer are going to get fired, and Stephen Ross is going to hit the reset button again after we shit the fucking bed. And after all of this drama, the toxicity, all of this shit that's been going on behind the scenes. I've been telling y'all this since fucking Jump Street, since they decided to take the tanking philosophy in 2019. I've been telling y'all, nobody wanted to listen. Everybody wanted to ignore me or shit on me. Well, here we are. We're in the midst of it. And so, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.